Hey, my name is James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about how you can reduce or minimize your capital gains tax bill. Now, capital gains tax is a tax that you get on any profits you make, and that could be for stocks or it could be for property. This video is going to be about property because, trust me, I've invested in stocks over the years and never ever made a penny. I've always lost money. So that's not what I'm good at, but property I can definitely help you with. So we're going to go into all the finer details on how you can reduce your tax bill legally. This might be something that you need right now, or it's just worth knowing for the future. So before we jump into this, as always, if you haven't done, subscribe to the channel over there and hit the bell notification. We're on the way to 27,000 subscribers now. And while you're here, just help me out a little bit. Get the YouTube algorithm going by smashing like, tickling like, doing something to the like button, guys. That does help me with YouTube. It just gets more views on the channel. So thanks for doing that. So, capital gains tax. Well, capital gains tax, no one likes paying tax, do they? And so I want to give you some ideas and strategies on how you could reduce your bill. And so first off, capital gains tax is not on your primary residence. So the house you live in, you might have bought that in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, or the noughties. I don't know. But the likelihood that what you bought it at, as if it's over than 10 years old, is likely gone up in value, I'm sure. So when you sell that property, if you want to move to a different property, either a bigger or smaller, or just sell up and move abroad, you don't have to pay tax on that as long as it's your primary residence. So this is more focused on maybe a buy-to-let property, which we talk about a lot on this channel. So let's just say you bought a property for 500 grand and it's gone up in value. It's now worth 600k. Purchase price, new price, and that means you've made 100k in paper profit, which obviously you can't take paper profit and spend it in the supermarket, but you've made 100 grand and the government want their bit, right? They want to get paid at every step of the way. Now, it's interesting that it's really dependent on your tax bracket. So whatever your tax level is, so you've got the basic tax, and if you're on basic tax, then you will be paying less. So if you're on the basic tax rate, you'll be paying on this profit 18%. So that's 18 grand. And if you're on a higher tax, you will be paying 28%. So that makes a huge, huge difference to your tax bill. So it's either going to be, in those scenarios, 18 grand or 28 grand. But how can we reduce that? Because I'd rather pay zero like you. So there are various different strategies you can use. So one thing you can do is to make it your primary residence. Make primary resi. So you can make it your primary residence. So you can move back into the property, but it's very important that you do a few things. One is you register all your HMRC stuff to that property. You can have a conversation with the HMRC and let them know this is now my primary residence. This is where I live. The other thing that you want to do is you want to register to vote at this property. So it's harder to dispute it's your primary residence. So maybe you've had it as a buy-to-let for 10 years. You're thinking, you know what? I want to sell this property, but maybe you bought it for 50 grand and now it's worth 500 grand. So you've got a huge potential tax bill there, hundreds of grand potentially. So you're going to want to basically move back into the property and make it your primary residence. That's one thing that you can do. Next is that you can deduct costs that you've had over the years. So there's costs that you've had in running that property. First one was stamp duty when you paid for it. So that can come off the capital gains. That's important. Next, when you sell it, you can take off the solicitor's costs, you can take off the estate agent's costs, and you can take off renovation costs. If you've had to do some renovation work to the property, which would work for me because properties I take them back to brick normally, we put plaster in, kitchens, bathrooms, I keep all of those receipts for years. Like I've never actually thrown them away. I've got a filing cabinet just there, which I fill up with all the property details, and I keep those, and they're in my accounts as well. So that's important. You keep all of those costs and they can be deducted and used on your reducing your bill. Next is use your allowances. So each of us, we get allowances each year. And so, like, for example, if you're employed, you can earn, 13, 14 grand a year before you go and get taxed, right? Well, for capital gains, there's also allowances as well. So you get something called a tax-free allowance, and that's an annual exemption amount, and that saves you off your bill, whatever it is, £3,000. Now, if you own this property as a couple, that's £6,000. So that is an important number to know. So that, if you're selling, go and have a look at using your allowances. That is the next one. Next is timing it right. So it's important you sell it at the right time. Now, you might be selling a few properties, and so you want to sell them within tax years, in financial years. Here's what I mean by that. So you want to sell it in the tax year, because you will get a new 3,000 or 6,000 allowance every financial year, April to April, right? And so that is going to make a difference in reducing your bill. So if you're selling two, sell one in one tax year and wait and sell the next one in the next tax year, and you'll save a good chunk of money. So that's very important that you do that. Next is you can gift the property to family and stuff like that, but only if it was your primary residence. So if you want to gift it to your kids, then it's currently run as a buy-to-let. Get the tenants out, live in there, make it your primary residence, as in step one. Then you can gift it to someone tax-free. Now, for inheritance tax, you've got to stay alive, I think, is for 7 years. But that could be something that you could do, is to gift it to your kids. All of these, you need to speak to a tax specialist and a solicitor. I'm just giving you some things to go and look at. I'm not a tax specialist, right? Next is transfer to partner. What does that mean? Well, if your partner, if you're married and you're not about to get divorced, you could transfer that property to your partner if they're on a lower tax bracket. Let's just say you're on the higher tax bracket. You're going to pay £28% tax to sell that. If they're on the lower tax bracket, speak to a solicitor about moving the property into their name, then dispose of it at 18%. That's a huge, huge saving that you can make. So that's one way you can do it. And next and last is just look up capital gains relief. And so there are various different reasons and things that you can do. It's changing all the time with all the different governments, particularly now we've got Labour, this will change. Check what the current rules are, see what else you can be eligible. There's always something you can do to reduce your tax bill. Some people just pay this headline number, they don't look into this, and this could save you. Look, if you made it into your primary residence, let's just say you're a higher tax earner. You bought a property for 100 grand 25 years ago. Now it's worth 400 grand. You've got 300 grand there that you're potentially going to pay tax on at 28%, potentially close to £100,000. Move back into the property, make it your primary residence, and then get rid of it, and you won't pay anything. You'll save 100 grand. It's worth it. So that is something that you could do. So these are some strategies for reducing your capital gains tax. There's obviously going to be other things. If I missed anything, or you've got any thoughts or opinions, do comment below. Do smash the like button, tickle the like button, do something to the like button, guys. That really helps me with YouTube. Do subscribe and hit that bell notification, and check out all the other content on the channel, including this video right here.